So in your Shared With Me drive, which is here, you're going to have a Learning and Support Teachers folder. Inside the folder, you're going to have an NCCD folder. And when you open it up, it will look like this. And here is this document here, which I'll just open up to show us and talk through the procedures for NCCD here. So first of all, you're going to get the big picture. You're going to review the Understanding NCCD resources, which we can find here. And we'll first of all look at the NCCD at Anzac Park. Let's have a look at the overview. So here we're talking about what is the NCCD, how will the data be used, and how a disability is defined according to the Disability Discrimination Act, what reasonable adjustments are, and the type of evidence you have, which has to be showing 10 weeks in the 12 months preceding the data collection. These don't have to be consecutive weeks, but you have to show 10 weeks worth of adjustment, reasonable adjustment for each student that you're identifying. And we will go back from that, have a look at the levels of adjustment. So there are 4 different categories. We're just going to look at the cognitive disability category just to give you an example. And you've got your first level is quality differentiated teaching practice. This is just basically how you adjust to students that have additional learning needs that require adjustments, but it's all part of your differentiated teaching program. Here are some examples of evidence that you can use: your class program, class assessments, work samples, and then here we have your supplementary adjustments level. So this is the next level. This is where you need to have some, you might have some modified or tailored programs or modified instruction. You might have some specialist teacher support intermittently, and you can show all of this in a teaching plan or your unit of work, a record of interventions, your student profile or adjustments, special programs timetable, just some provisions that of a support service that you've provided for the student's additional needs. Then we move to the next level, level 3, which is substantial adjustments. These adjustments are generally considerable, so they might be frequent individual instruction or direct support, but they are significantly modified study materials. And here again, we've got essential specialised support. So this is all about how we are allowing all students with a recognised disability access the curriculum at the same, so they have the same opportunities as all students. And on this level, it's where they need essential specialised support in order to do this. They might also have access to a personalised support setting. So your examples of this might be your individual learning plans, whole school data like learning and support team data, behaviour tracking data, your literacy and numeracy continuum data. You might have school or specialist observation, assessments, reports. And then we move into the extensive adjustments. And the key part here is the personalised modifications to all courses and programs, school activities and assessment procedures in order for the students to access education on an equal basis. So in this case, you might have photographs of your learning environment, your review meetings, parent review meetings for your ILP, or your risk management plans. These are just some examples. We go back here, and when we're looking at who we're identifying for, this just comes from the NCCD website. So we are actually obliged as a school to ensure that students with a disability are able to access and participate in education on the same basis as students without a disability. And by doing that, we will be providing some reasonable adjustments to do that. Here's how the DDA defines disability. It's just a broad summary. Then what some reasonable adjustments may involve, a combination of these things here, and who you should select. But again, all of this is just to support you, and if you want further support with this, just let me, your learning and support teacher, know, and I'm happy to help you with all of that. If you want to have some extra information in here, understanding the NCCD, here we have a lot of NCCD adjustment case studies, consolidated evidence examples, guidance on the adjustment levels, level of adjustment by disability category table, and a quick guide to the NCCD, which may not be that quick, which is why I've tried to summarise it in beautiful graphics. So let's go back to this one here. And you've had a look at the Understanding NCCD resources, and you have identified students who meet the criteria using the level of adjustment resources, which were the resources that I just showed you. And now we are going to move on to the 5-week initial adjustment document. So this is part of the learning and support team procedures. Whoops, let's go back. And you'll find that in documentation. So let's have a look here. The NCCD 10-week documented adjustments for learning and support. Now I have these here. So we'll just have a closer look at this. And this is your 5-week initial adjustment plan, which I will go through on another video. But that's what that looks like. So you'll have that in there as well. And if you go to Learning and Support Team and we do a follow-on, then we will also have this 5-week Learning and Support Team driven plan as well for you. So if we go back to our lovely graphic here, you'll see that the next step after you've documented those 5-week initial adjustments with your AP as part of the Learning and Support Team procedures, you will then collate the evidence to show that you've actually put those supports in place. So have a look at the Gathering Evidence folder, resources, and start to compile some evidence that identified students require and have received 10 weeks of adjustments. That you will find in Gathering Evidence. So we'll just have a quick look at what this looks like. There's a document of examples of evidence which I've created. The important part being that your evidence proves that you've considered adjustments in your planning, you have adjusted your program, you have taught your program, and you've provided the measures in your classroom, you're adjusting your assessments, and you're providing opportunities for students to perhaps regularly move during the day if that's what their need is. So you need to look at the level and then look at the evidence that you've collated and think, is this substantial proof that I am providing what I say that I'm providing? And we'll go through that document. I'll do another lovely video for that. So here you've got your tick box adjustments, which basically just help you identify different adjustments in your classroom. And again, I'll put a video in here for how to navigate through these two documents and how you can use them. So we'll go back to this part here and have another look at our procedures. So you've collated the evidence, and to show that your students have require and received the 10 weeks of adjustments, now you're going to need to upload them to our school NCCD data structure table. And this is how we're going to collate all of the levels across the school, all the student data for students who are receiving NCCD. This will actually be, this is an example in here of, what it looks like. Oh, it is in here, in APPS data structure. Now here are all the parts that you need. Again, I'll explain this further in another video. Your evidence checklist. So this is just, I created this just to help you with the types of evidence that you're, just to go through and make sure that you've got the evidence for all of these things. And you can even click in that box. I was very pleased with learning how to do that. So you can click in the box if you want, just to show that you've done it, but that's really more a guide just for you. This is some information on inserting a signature or how to upload your evidence, which again I will explain in further detail in a video in this section. And when we look here at the NCCD data, we will see that in the data structure, this will actually be available for you to upload your evidence into and complete on the school drive, so that we will actually be able to collate all the students in all the classes throughout this drive. And that way we will be able to input the data into EARN to receive funding for students that have additional needs, or just also to document them as part of the school and the department processes. And again, I will go through all of that in another video. And again, I've done some great boxes here, which I was very pleased about learning how to do. So you can just have a look here. You can, but again, we will go through all of that, and you will just hopefully just click on something and choose, and then upload your evidence here. And of course, all of these link to the places that you need to go to help you understand that. And we have some further links at the end, some further documents. If you want to just click on those, it will open the document, and you'll upload your evidence, so that if we're audited, all of our evidence will be in one place. So that will be in the teachers drive on the school system. So let's go back to this one here, and look, finally we will is the review point. So you need to review the 5-week initial adjustment document with your AP, and see if you need, as per learning support procedures, if you need to go to the learning and support team meeting. Then you will have a look at the NCC data where you've put that into the data structure for the school. Just review that with your AP and check that that's fine. I will review all of these as well, so don't worry, just put it in if you're unsure, and I can review and make sure whether it should be there or shouldn't be there, if we need further evidence. And follow learning and support team procedures for supporting student needs where required. Any more help that you need with this, I will be more than happy to help you out, so just let me know. Here are some really important dates, and we are hoping to have all of this in by the end of term 2, everything into the NCC data structure, so that we can make sure that we get everything in time and we get all of our data collated. Thank you very much.